Yuno is the definition of a perfect yandere. If you even think about yandere, the first thing that'll come up is Yuno or the yandere simulator. And if you don't know what a yandere is, let me explain this to you real quick. It's basically a crazy female that's attracted to you and that will literally boom anyone who tries to do something to you. And you might think that's not even that bad. You basically got a whole bodyguard for free. But yeah, remember when I said anyone, right? Well, she was about to boom Yuki's mother if she didn't meet her expectations. And if that does not raise red flags, I don't know what is. And people was like, yeah, I need a Yuno in my life. No, you do not. So imagine this, right? Imagine you was just playing around with your friends or a family member, right? Then y'all got into a small argument. And it could be something petty as well, by the way. Yuno is going to see that, find their location, hunt them down, and show you proof that they're now gone. It's already bad enough she don't like when people's around them as well. You'll basically get no freedom around her. Your friends is only her and her alone. So if you have any type of friends, you might as well go and drop them. Granted, those people weren't really friends to begin with. You can't go get rid of her, and you have no freedom. So basically, like, what do you do then? Nothing at all, actually. You just have to keep her in check. If you can do that, she's basically not that bad then. But speaking of which, though, she basically knows everything because of her phone. And you might be wondering, how is that even possible? Well, I'll tell you. Because this being was like, I'm just gonna create a whole Hunger Games for all of y'all real quick. I don't even care if y'all want to be in this or not. I gave y'all the power to see the future on y'all phones. So at the end of the day, you have to deal with it. Oh yeah, y'all can't even quit even if y'all wanted to. But hey, if y'all do, when y'all can become God though, like get the offer out of my face. This is the high tier definition of this too good to be true. If you were able to avoid something, you got a future diary, cool. Oh, but guess what? Now you have people targeting you just because of that. All because they wanted to become God. That's great. And that variety to diaries, each and every last one of them is different. And the main person who has everything about Yuki is Yuno. She knows what he's about to do every 10 minutes. Why does she need to know every 10 minutes? Because she's a stalker. What else is a reason to? I also have another question real quick. Why would they let psychopaths let them get the chance to become God? It makes no sense. You know, the person that murders people most likely for fun, or be like, you know, be crazy all because of one person alone. Cough, cough. Prime example, by the way. Cough, cough. This thing was comfortable be like, yeah, they're perfect candidates. That type of stuff never works out. They'll let someone explode literally anything just to lure one person out. They're a fine candidate, right? Oh, by the way, if you got caught in crossfire, oh well, then too bad for you. I would truly hate to be in that world. And this is basically like how it is for JoJo's. You know how for JoJo's stand users attract other stand users? Well, it goes the same for this. Diary users attract other diary users, which is crazy to think about. But I should really talk about my thoughts for each episode though. You can think about it as a long intro, I guess. But hey, I'm not gonna waste any more time and we're gonna get to it. So we have Yuki just sitting there by himself, and no one would really like him just because he's on his phone. But there was one person who was trying to go invite him to something, but they shut him down immediately for trying to be a good person. This is why you should listen to your parents. It's always about the damn phone. But bro was basically on his phone 25/8, just writing stuff in his diary. Imagine instead of a diary, it was TikTok. His brain would have been rotted a long time ago. But once he finally gets home, he decides to go talk to his quote-unquote imaginary friends. And you know, from my yap session from earlier, they ain't no imaginary. And what I also said from before, he decided to make things a little interesting and give him a future diary. Now his life is basically fucked, all because of that. But hey, at least he get closer to Yuno if he likes it or not. But you could be delusional. He thinks that this is fake. I'm sorry, if I receive a new message from that thing out of nowhere, I would have been questioning about it. But that's just me though. But he started to find some coincidence throughout his diary throughout the whole entire day. So once all of that happened, he started asking if this is real. He was basically like, yeah, and he explained more about the diary. So that's when Yuki decided to take that as an advantage to basically make his life more easier. But good things always have to come to an end though, because while he was basically cheating on a test, Yuno looked at him, and you might think nothing's wrong with that, right? Well, here's the thing though. Yuno was creating a clay doll of one of his quote-unquote imaginary friends. So he decided to go look at his phone and seen dead end, and he was already explained on what that means. And conveniently enough, that's when Yuno came out of nowhere. So he already thinks that she's bad news. So the first thing he done is started to run away. And if I'm being honest, can you really blame him for this? He already thinks that she's a serial killer. So while he was trying to run away, she cut him off conveniently. All because of her diary, of course. But he doesn't know yet. So once he managed to run all the way to the elevator, he thought that he was safe until Yuno came along out of nowhere and confronted him. And at that point, Yuki was praying that he would make it out alive. But then out of nowhere, Yuno kissed him. And she was like, yeah, I was on your side the whole entire time. But Yuki was still confused and scared. And you can't really blame him for that. So Yuno decided to go explain the situation. And then about how he was about to reach his dead end. So of course she was not trying to have that at all. So she basically creates a whole plan with her phone, and she uses the 10 minutes as an advantage. So of course she decides to go follow with her plan. It would have been really dumb if he didn't. So once they managed to get onto the rooftop, Yuno created a plan on how to deal with the killer. So Yuki decided to go follow with it with no questions asked. So once the killer managed to make it up to the rooftop, Yuki got a clear sight of him because of 2 phones. So once the killer decided to go check on his phone, it was literally his demise because Yuno created a distraction and Yuki made a bullseye on his phone. And once their phone is basically destroyed, they get taken straight to the shadow realm. And Yuno's basically like, is that it? Like, what do you mean is that it? She's basically unfazed about the whole entire situation. Dude went out like a cartoon character, all because their phone was destroyed, and she ain't even worried about that at all. And it's basically like she was already used to this. Not the killing part. That ain't surprising to her. But bro has all the right to be even more afraid about her. I'm not gonna lie, I feel relieved but mad concerned at the same time. Because yeah, she saved me, but at the same time though, if she has a reaction like that, something is up. So after the whole situation was over, Yuki decided to go demand for some answers for what is happening, as he should. And he was basically like, I'm glad you asked. And he creates a meeting with all the other candidates as well. And certain people started congratulating him for surviving, all because his thing was glazing him about changing the future. But once all that was over, he decided to go explain the rules. So once the rules has already been explained, everyone wanted to go after Yuki now, all because he took out someone and changing his fate. But the thing is, so they didn't even know that Yuno helped him, like a lot. Oh, that also reminds me as well, why is she the only one that's wearing a whole ass disguise? But another one is as well, but he's making it as his own persona, so there's that. It's like she already knew ahead of time that she might get hunted after just because she helped Yuki out. Though it's not like she's really going to care about that as well, so it's more like she'll notice their face and they won't know hers. I mean, it's not going to be that hard to recognize them because they're shadowed out like they're a locked character, ready to be unlocked. But once everything was said in the meeting, everyone has their eyes on number 1, and they all disappeared just like that. And now bro is just completely scared out of his mind because he's the main target. But of course there's one main person who stayed throughout the whole entire time, and of course we all know who it is. It was Yuno, and she's making a promise to him that he will not be harmed from anyone, even though we all know it's easier said than done. I'm not gonna lie, this anime is fire. It has a good plot, makes things a whole lot interesting, all of that. If you haven't watched a Future Diary yet, I don't see why not. Honestly, it's an old anime, but hey, it's still really good. You already know how old animes hit. They hit different. Well, to me, in my personal opinion, for old animes that is. But that's besides the point though. I'm still on episode 8, and I'm pretty sure by the time then I should be watching more, if not finished. Actually, I highly doubt for the finished part. I'm gonna be real. But if I am, I'll probably get my thoughts on a short or a community tab. One of those two. But yeah, that's besides the point though. I really yapped a little bit too long, but hey, it's time for the finisher. I'm saying like it's a fighting game. Hello? But I really do hope that you enjoyed this type of video. If you did enjoy, you might as well leave a like, comment down below what's your thoughts about this anime, what's your thoughts what I had to say in the beginning or throughout the video, whatever. Subscribe as well, it's free of course. And hey, while you do all that, you might as well go in the description as well. It has my Discord server and my Twitch as well. And on top of everything else, I do have a Nintendo channel as well if you want to stop on by and check that out. And that's about it really. But anyways, I really hope to see you next time in a different video. If not, I hope you had a good life. I love y'all.